Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, and this is the first of a series of basic Python programming course. Please note that you do not need any prior programming knowledge whatsoever, and everything in this course will be taught from scratch. My name is Sarjun, and you can call me Sarj. I'm a data scientist and I love to play with data. I'm also a professional data science and machine learning trainer teaching in various institutions. So before we start, please help me with my socials. I'm trying to reach out to as many people as possible. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Please just subscribe, add me, send me a message, and I will respond as fast as possible. So with that, let's get straight to today's introduction session. Okay, so today I'm going to be introducing the basic Python programming course, and this is course introduction, which is the first segment of this course. Okay, this course provides the basics of the Python language geared towards data and automation development capabilities. Please note this is still a basic course and it is not an advanced or intermediate course, which I'm still developing, and I will let you know of the details later. Students would learn core programming concepts that include conditionals such as if-else, loops, for loops, while loops, variables, string variables, numeric variables, booleans, also functions, as well as data structures such as list, sets, tuples, and so on. With practice sessions, students will be exposed to both inbuilt and customized functions, understand the various types of data structures, and write simple, efficient Python code. Right? Basic, simple stuff. Don't worry. A bit about myself. So, I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Economics, and I also did a Master's in Economics, and I did a Master's in Financial Engineering soon after from National University of Singapore. I also have done some training qualifications, as well as a couple of specialist diplomas in full stack web development and applied artificial intelligence. I've had experience with a couple of fintech companies, and I have done financial modeling, algorithmic trading in the machine learning space as well. I am a data science and machine learning expert, and I have been training students and adults across various tertiary institutions. As I've also been a lecturer before, now I'm back in the industry, doing fraud analysis and so on. Right? I like spending my free time analyzing data and teaching my daughter and my wife a couple of data analytics techniques. So, enough about me. What are the basic learning objectives? So for this course, you will learn to identify the core aspects of programming and the features of the Python programming language. You also understand the concepts such as conditionals, as I mentioned, loops, variables, functions, and data structures. Additionally, I will also do a bit of basic NumPy and Pandas. These are libraries, right? And I will just be doing basic. It will not be any advanced kind of concepts, just the basic ones for you to get started. Okay, the intended audience are students and staff who have limited or minimal programming experience, and is catered for motivated learners who would like to embark on a rigorous learning framework and looking to upgrade themselves. As I mentioned, no prerequisites required, and the course will have a variety of assessments, mini quizzes, and structured coding questions throughout the exercises as well. The course is kind of like 2 to 3 hours for you to do per session, and you should be able to complete it within 22 to 30 hours in totality, because there's about 15 lectures. Today I'll be covering the first 2 lectures, which are kind of introduction. Then subsequently I will see how I will break down the lectures, whether I will do 2 sessions or 1 session per video. Okay, with that, let me jump to the next part of this, part 1, which is going to be looking at basic Python programming. So for this session, you can still sit back and relax, just listen to what I have to say. So, what is programming? So programming is the process that professionals use to write code instructs how a computer, application, or software program performs. Simply, computer programming is a set of instructions to facilitate specific actions. So here, I adapted it from an online source. Okay, so just to make it clearer. So basically, you're just telling the computer to do a set of tasks by using code. It's as simple as that, right? Obviously, there are so many different types of programming tools out there, right? Why am I suggesting Python? Because Python has a few advantages when it comes to learning it for data science and analytics. Things like software quality, because the codes are written in simple and adaptable manner, is easily readable for consistency and control. Additionally, it's also very productive because Python is a statically typed language and is compiled easily, right? And it's similar to those of C, C++, and Java. And that means it is as efficient as very complex languages like C, C++, and Java, but it's easy to work on it as well. On top of it, Python is portable. Whatever program that you write requires minimal changes or none at all and can be run in all major computer platforms across the board, which means that if you develop in Windows, you can easily deploy it in Mac or Linux platforms, right? And there is a large set of libraries. Okay, here the library is not where you go and find a book to read, it's not the place where you study. This library means it's a kind of like a package or a module that you import, install on top of the Python package itself, and that gives you the ability to download somebody else's formulas and codes that you can use for your development. So it's like someone else has already built the wheel. You don't have to build the wheel, right? It's already done, right? So yeah, so that is why you should use libraries, and libraries help you to hasten or keep or enhance your pace of work as well instead of you rebuilding the wheel, right? And finally, Python also has this easy integration aspects where you can integrate with different applications, front end to back end, across the board as well. Okay, with that said, we will be downloading the Anaconda distribution. The Anaconda distribution comes with a slew of softwares, stuff like Jupyter Notebook, you have Orange, you have R built in as well. So it's actually good for you to download Anaconda because it already comes with packages such as NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Scikit-learn. It does not come with TensorFlow, which you have to install yourself if you want to do deep learning, but it comes with the most packages already, so it's okay, right? And then it also has a lot of tools for you to do to build up data visualization, robotics, and automation purposes as well. It also is an intuitive platform that allows you to easily search and install packages, as I mentioned earlier, create and load and switch between environments, right? And it's also regularly tested and through secured and it's kind of like an open source community that shares different packages, so it is rather safe. So now we are going to be downloading, so it's important to download the softwares above if you want to have a similar environment, and especially if you want to learn Python. So yeah, so we will be doing a quick installation. In the meantime, just give me a moment. Wow. Just a moment, okay? Okay, so let me share screen. Okay, so you should see this screen. Okay, so please, I hope you have Google Chrome because Google Chrome is very important. Other browsers do work, but sometimes it's better to have Google Chrome, I feel, with limited issues. So, go into Google Chrome, type in Anaconda distribution, and you should see Anaconda distribution. If you are having difficulties, I will post the link in the YouTube channel below so you can actually click through it as well. Okay, so if you click on it, you can automatically see that it actually brings you to this website. It might change, and the website the interface changed quite a bit. When I downloaded the first time, it was like 3.4, 3.5, now it's 3.9. Things really develop very fast. So just download it, okay? So I'm going to click the download button. It's for Windows. If you are using a Mac, it should show it's for Mac, and it's a Python 3.9 64-bit graphic installer. So you download it, and you should see that it's downloading at the bottom here, right? And then it should bring you to a new web page. And while it's being downloaded, just wait for it. There's two ways you can install it. You can click on it once it's downloaded, or you can go into your downloads folder to install it as well. So in this case, I will go into my downloads folder. I will click on it here. It's here. I'll double click on it to install it as well. So it's installing. While I minimize this and minimize this, so that I can see that it's installing. So let me minimize this as well. Okay, so you will see this. Welcome to Anaconda 3. You might be seeing a different version depending on when you're installing this. They update it regularly. So please, need not be the same. So you click on next. Once you click on next, you have to go through this license agreement. Many times people don't read them, but it's important to read this kind of license agreement. I wouldn't pressure you to read it so much because you're only using it for educational purposes. Unless you have any kind of commercial purposes, then you might need to be careful, right? But other than that, it should be okay. So I click on I agree. So usually in this case, I will click just me. Sometimes some computers, when you want to install for all users, it requires admin privileges, right? So I'll just click just me. And then in this case, I will just set a destination folder. After that, I will click next. Usually I'll leave it as it is. I won't change it. And this is a very important part. Here, there is a part where it says add Anaconda 3 to my path environment variable. And it says not recommended. Instead, use open Anaconda 3 with the Windows Start menu and select Anaconda 64-bit. For me, I always click on this because for me, because I'm doing development work, I always want to install this. If for the purpose of learning, it's not necessary for you to click on it. But if you intend to go down the development of automation and you want to do more integration stuff, I would suggest you click on it. It wouldn't spoil the computer or anything. It's just that it's not recommended because it's more advanced stuff. If you want to dwell that path, I would recommend you click on it now. Take the bold action. Do it, right? Yeah. So just click install. Leave click both. Register Anaconda 3 as my default Python 3.9 as well, right? And you see all these IDEs as well, right? So just click on it, yes. So this is all PyCharm, all these different IDEs lah. Anyway, just click install, and that should take a while. Don't worry, if it takes too long, I will cut the video. Yep. So yep, let's let that install.
5 minutes later.
Okay, now we are back and the system has already installed for us and it's already done, it's completed. So you should see installation complete. So you click on next and then you will see that you can, there are certain additional functions which you just click on next after that, and yep, just follow. This will just open up the web page after you install. Yeah, so you can just actually read through them if you want to, and I usually just close them and yep, and it's done. So once that is done, I can now move on to do a quick demo. So how do you install? So you go and check that you have installed Anaconda. You can see Anaconda is already installed, and I can click on the Anaconda here, and you can open up Anaconda Navigator. So Anaconda Navigator, so how are we going to start off this course? Is in the sense we need to open up this program called Jupyter Notebook, but you can actually click on it here directly, but I would advise you to go to Anaconda Navigator and start off by opening this GUI. So it'll take a while to start, right? It'll initialize, and once it's done, even though this is not my preferred way of starting Jupyter Notebook, I'm just showing you this is one way of how you can start. So here, this is where you will see all the different programs that I said earlier, right? We have Orange, we have R Studio, we have Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, right? Spider, we also have Oracle, IBM Watson, different types of programs, but don't worry, we're only going to use Jupyter Notebook for this course, right? Okay. Remind me later. Okay, so let's launch Jupyter Notebook. So when you click launch, it should open up Jupyter Notebook for you, right? Okay, then you should see this file structure. So in order to start off your first Jupyter Notebook, you will see that there is this new option on the top right hand side, just below the logout button. Click on new. You will see this Python 3 kernel, IPY kernel. Click on that. It should open up this Jupyter Notebook. This is it's similar to what I showed you earlier, that presentation. So this is how it starts. So if I want to add any new cells, I can just click plus plus plus, and all these are different cells. So just do some testing. This is a testing cell, right? So simple, right? And there are different stuff you can do with this. You can change it and all. I will be doing that more in detail in the subsequent lectures, right? So this is how you start. I can close it now. I will leave this. I will leave this as well. I'll just log out. I'll close it, and I will close this Anaconda Navigator. Personally, yes, quit. Personally, I don't really prefer using Anaconda Navigator. I prefer using straight away. I click on Anaconda. I will open up this Anaconda prompt, right? Anaconda prompt. Once I'm in Anaconda prompt, it will show me my folder pathway. So I just need to do a bit of shell scripting, not exactly shell scripting, just change directory. So I cd, change directory to documents, right? And then or if I want to move to desktop, depending on where you want to go towards to, and then I'll go to documents, and then I will start Jupyter Notebook here, or I will make a directory, mkdir, I'll make a directory called data, wait, let's not call it data, let's call it Python programming. So mkdir, Python programming, I've already created a new folder. So if you actually click on the folder, you will see that in my documents, I have this Python programming, this just created by me, right? So I can now cd into Python programming, okay? And then here, I can type Jupyter Notebook. So it's Jupyter. It's not JUPI, not Jupyter, it's Jupyter. Jupyter Notebook, and I press enter, right? Enter, it will open up Jupyter Notebook option straight away, like what we saw earlier. So it's empty, I don't have anything here, so I can click new again, similar to what I did earlier. A Python kernel. Again, you will see that it has opened up, something similar to what we did earlier when we used the Anaconda Navigator, right? And then this is a testing cell, right? Okay, the good thing is if you go back to your folder, if I click on Python programming, you can see that the file is created. So if I were to change the name of this file to my first Python file, right? So I rename it. Let's call it my first Python file, PP, Python programming, right? So it's this. Now if I go back to this file, you can see that it's actually renamed to that file. So this file is actually saved inside Python programming. My documents, it's actually there. So you are in this folder, right? So yeah, so that is all I wanted to show you. Nothing much. Yep, so I will just log out. I'll close this. Yep. That is all I have for you today. Please join me in my next subsequent series session so you can follow up as well. Thank you very much. Bye.